All right, John, let's get to the Masters. That was quite a weekend.
Yeah, it was. I guess one of my picks almost made it to the finish there.
It's like
it was exactly what we thought about.
That's pretty much your betting life right there. It's like I almost had the winner.
Yeah, exactly. But it came down exactly what we talked about. It was going to be an exciting finish. It came down to more of a 2-horse race than it did more. I thought there would be more 4 or 5 guys kind of in the mix, but it was crazy. I don't mean to go off topic here a little bit, but it took him 18 years to get that first major. And it just kind of tells you how hard these things are, to get them. It's not easy at all. I think the turning point was when Sergio hits a couple bad drives on 10 and 11, because that's actually, they always say the golf tournament doesn't start until everybody hits the back nine. That's when they say, because roars start and you can make runs on, some par fives and make eagles. All these par fives on the back nine are reachable. And so that's usually when it, so we're all tied with Rose and then there's a couple guys just a couple shots off. And Sergio plays poorly on 10 and 11 and gives him a cushion.
Yeah.
But nobody really was actually making a move at those 2 leaders. So I think that the big change was when he hit it in the trees on 13 and he was able to take a drop and make a par. That momentum drove him right into the next 3 holes. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think that when he looked at the leaderboard and said, this is just between me and the guy that I'm playing with, which, by the way, was a great pairing for him. They're very close friends. They're very good Ryder Cup teammates. I actually thought the Fowler-Spieth thing was going to be the same thing, really good buddies, and they were going to play because they know each other. I actually thought it was going to be between those 4 guys going down the finish, and the other guys, the Americans, just went in the tank. But so he makes par on 13, and then he birdies 14, and he eagles 15. And then he actually almost birdied 16. And then it turned almost into a match play Ryder Cup format where I just got to make one lower than this guy or stay with him, and I'm going to be right there. It was interesting after I started looking at it. He hit wedge into 13. He hit wedge into 14. He hit 8-iron into 15. He hit 8-iron into 16, and he hit wedge into 17 and 18. He's only hitting 2 irons, and both those irons are very comfortable for him. So everything was really at the stick. And I saw something on Saturday. Graham McDowell went live on Facebook, and he came out and said, Sergio might be one of the better drivers of the golf ball on tour. He can hit it right to left. He can hit it left to right. He really shapes his shots, something you really have to do around Augusta. And so I thought it was just full of excitement. And I think what happened is, one of the key things that on 17 is they put that little 1-inch kind of rough that's off the edge. And what happens is guys can catch flyer lies, which means they just go much further than they expect. And 17, Justin Rose was he had the tournament in his hands and he hit it in that rough. And if you go long on 17, you could make double bogey. So he was very conscious of, I don't want to catch this jumper and it goes long. And he flew it, and he flies that ball 3 yards further. He's won that golf tournament, but he catches the bunker and hits a great bunker shot and just doesn't get it up and down. Yeah. And from that point on, it was, you saw what the end of it was. But it was interesting. Like I said in last week, it was, you need to be patient at Augusta. And Sergio actually said in his press conference, he's like, after it's all said and done, it took me a long time to realize, and Jose Maria had told me this a lot, his idol, you have to accept what it gives you. And if you don't, and good or bad, you got to take what it gives you. And he said, it took me a long time to take that in. And kudos to him. It was great. It was great for golf.
Oh yeah, it's terrific.
And it was fun.
with Sergio, for 73, you're watching and you're expecting where is the collapse? Where does this get too big for him? Because he has been the guy who said, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not cut out for the majors. Maybe I'm not cut out for this big stage. And that's something when when you're quoted in an interview as saying that sort of thing, that starts to become the reality. Your perception becomes the reality, and so you were sort of expecting, here's 0 for 73. When's he going to collapse? And he never did. And he never did. And he broke that. And it's one of those things where you sort of look at it and say, maybe he's got a couple more in.
Yeah, he could have.
And he can ride that confidence to something more.
And you saw too, you always try to find, maybe is there 2 other new kids that are coming up, and you watch this kid Thomas Peters, and you watch this kid John Ram now, a Spaniard and a kid from Belgium. The kid from Belgium, right. Thomas played at Illinois, and John played at ASU. But that Ryder Cup team has just gotten really strong for Europe, and I can see one of those 2 kids making a move there. They both hit it very long, and they both are great ball strikers. And they were in contention, and it was their first time they ever been to Augusta. So
we were texting a little bit about the leader through, what was it, 40 holes? Charlie Hoffman. Yeah. Poway, right?
Poway, yeah, and he went to UNLV, San Diego guy.
And but what did you tell me about Charlie? That
I said Charlie's always there in the first couple days, and other than that, it just kind of slowly but surely just slides away.
Yeah, and it did.
And it did.
And it did.
And so, the other thing is everybody's going to be screaming for getting caddy bib number 89, and that was quite interesting because Danny Willett had caddy bib 89 last year. Nicholas won with caddy bib 89, and Sergio just won with caddy bib 89. So the caddy bib, that could be a big race to the caddy master.
Hold on, I'm writing that down so I can make my betting and my handicapping for next year's master. Caddy bib 89.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
But I want to show you something. I want to share something with you, and I don't know if everybody, you guys are aware of this, but there's a show now that's going to be for this whole week. It's on Golf Channel called Jack, and it's on Jack Nicklaus. And you want to talk about a guy. Sergio took 18 years to win a major, okay? And so they put up the statistics on Jack Nicklaus. He's got 18 major victories. He's got 19 runner-ups. These are all, by the way, these are all in majors, okay? He has 56 top 5s, 73 top 10s, and 164 starts. And there's a kid who just won his first major, and it took him 18 years. Yeah. That's how hard it is. But back when Jack was playing, that's how good Jack. Yeah. And I don't think anybody's ever going to get close to that. I saw those statistics this morning, and it just blew me away. Yeah.
And you remember Sergio at 19 years old, they were ready to crown him, as the next big
Little
thing.
Nino,
and it just didn't never happen. That might have been just too much pressure for him. And he seems personality-wise like the kind of guy who wasn't able to really handle that. Yeah. But he's hung around, and God bless him, right?
Yeah, another great major, another great, that's what Augusta loves. They love those finishes coming down to the last 4 or 5 holes, and they got what they wanted. So